issues that come with the drugs. And
what did you say?
Any to our talk not true.
Prestige 91.7
come in to leverage on education to ensure that we have a drug-free world, and this is part of the occasion of celebrating a drug-free world around the world. In our dear state, Niger State here, we've had issues with youths, school-attending youths who are already into drugs, school administrators, education caregivers have been going to and forth to ensure that all of these issues are nipped in the bud. And the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, which is also an agency specifically trained to deal with drug issues, have also been going to and forth to ensure that youths abstain from drug abuse. And workshops, seminars, and all of that have also been organized to ensure that all of these things are no longer prevalent among our youths. And it is in respect of this that yesterday, with the support of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, another sensitization exercise was carried out, and the idea is to train the trainer, which is a workshop for students and teachers, and especially those within Mina Metropolis. This train the trainer, which was put together by Dream Center for Young Minds, is to draw the attention of teachers and other caregivers on how to deal with drug issues. And to discuss this matter this morning, I have with me an erudite research fellow who have specialized and have special interest as well in researches relating to educational matters. I'm talking of Mr. Amechi Okeke. You are welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Dantala. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And it has always been a very difficult and herculean task to get you these days.
Well, we're running around.
I keep thanking my God that I was able to get you.
No, but you know I would always answer your call.
Yes, okay. Drug-free world.
Yeah.
Maybe we should begin to look at that issue first. What does that connote?
Okay, the drug-free world is an organization in America that's also working in Africa, you know, mostly on the education sector, trying to see how to use education as a tool to fight the substance abuse. You know, so I think what triggered it, I reached out to them about working in Niger State in the education sector and how we need this intervention. And in August last year, they sent some resource materials for trainers on substance abuse and prevention. So since that last year, we've been trying to see how to put it to use. So not until now that we decided to use HIMA as a pilot for it. So the idea was for them to see a training, then see how they can come in, you know, identify gaps. Yes, when you identify these gaps and you let them know, they would now see how to come in. So that's what we're trying to do. So this is just a pilot. We're also working with the Ministry of Education, Basic and Secondary Education, to see how to also have the same program in the public schools.
Okay. Now, the workshop actually started yesterday, and so the participants are from public private schools?
No, they are from HIMA International College.
Okay, strictly from HIMA International
Yes,
College.
yes,
Okay.
it's for the students and the teachers of that school.
Okay.
Yeah, and so what we did was by starting, we had to do like a pre-survey with the students just to know where their level on education on drugs are. And after the first section yesterday, we did a post survey also with them, you know, to know what they've learned about drugs. And, you know, it will be interesting to know that these children even know more than us about these drugs that we talk about. But the question is, who is giving them that education? You understand?
But, you know, already there are talks about drugs on the streets, at school, even on the internet, on
Yes,
our
but it's
televisions.
more dangerous for them to get those education on the street.
I don't know. You are asking about who gave them that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So
I'm saying that the
because
wrong
of a lot
person.
of conversations
Yes,
that
I'm
are
saying
going
that
on.
the wrong people are giving them those education,
exactly.
which is the problem. Yeah, so we are trying to take this education to them early. That's what this whole idea is all about. You know, because at some point these children are going to be left alone in the universities without parents, without anybody to guide them. So we're trying to see that they know the basic harm that these drugs can do before they get to that environment.
Now, you know, the first teacher or the first lesson they always receive about drug abuse have always come from friends who are already deep into drug abuse.
The uneducated friends.
The uneducated friends. So sometimes they could be educated ones, but very close friends.
No, but
who are already into it.
If you look at the youth
groups,
the youth restiveness we're having in Mina here, you will know that they are uneducated.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you can spend all this money to train your child in school, and an uneducated person gives him lecture on substance, you know, it's a very big problem.
Exactly. Sometimes even the drug dealers themselves.
They need to sell.
Yeah, they need to sell, yes. So they say a lot of good things about the drugs.
Yeah, in our interactions with them, you'll be surprised. They know a lot. They know a lot. So, but the thing is now for you to try to make them understand that these things they know, they are either true or they are not.
Yes. And you know, youth at that age are always inquisitive.
Yeah, they're very experimental.
Yes, exactly.
Every little thing triggers them, just the principle behind it. You know, one of the students yesterday talked about a drug that makes you learn very fast. Yeah, but
so
you'll be surprised. Yes, you'll be surprised that at that age, this child already knows this thing. They know about electronic cigarettes. They know a lot of things that you would know. These children are way ahead of us.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when you talk about this electronic cigarette, I was just short of mentioning it. At that level, they may not have come into contact with anything.
They know it. They know it. You know, so, but that's where the parenting comes in, you know, because these are conversations that they would be scared to have with you as a parent. You know, because of maybe you're going to judge them or you're going to be harsh on them. So they would rather go outside and have these conversations.
Exactly. Okay, who were the agencies that were invited there to lend support to the workshop? Okay,
you know, this is substance abuse is the mandate of NDLEA. So whatever you do in that field, you have to bring them in, and they were very supportive. They had one of their directors who was there also as a facilitator. He spoke at length with the kids, you know, and we're not just trying to do this to be like a 2 days kind of training. We're trying to see how we can sustain it, you know, support him, provide resource for them, look at areas where they need support in this fight, you know. So NDLEA has been very cooperative in this whole regard. Then the other facilitator are the ones from DCYM, but today we're looking at how to add a different color to it, maybe bring somebody from the youth angle also to come talk to them.
Now you talk about repentant drug users. Were they at hand too to lend support during this workshop?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. What we're just doing now is, like I said, we did a you know, find out where are these children on substance abuse, what do they know about it, you know. They fill the questionnaire before we started. And after we finished the section, we gave them the same questionnaire to fill. And, you know, and it would be interesting to know that they had a different perspective after undergoing that 1 to 2 hours training, you know, which is a success story for us, because what we're trying to get to understand is that they know the difference between, because in the pre-survey we found out that most of them do not even know the difference between substance abuse and the normal drugs you take as medication.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Amechi Okeke. Now in Nigeria, this is gradually gaining ground, drug-free world Nigeria. And you know, especially northern part of Nigeria where drug is most abused by these youths. What are those some of those takeaways that the children can readily see from the effect of drug abuse from fellow youths like them?
You know, Dr. Lantala, being very honest, it's about addiction. And I think every human being has an addiction. It might not be drug. If you eat food where you're not hungry, it's an addiction. You're eating because you want to eat, not because your body needs it.
Exactly.
I'm also an addict. I'm addicted to Coca-Cola, you know, which is not even healthy for my age, but I'm trying to break free from that addiction. Do you understand? So we are all addicts in one way or the other.
Exactly.
These are conversations that we need to have. If I go to a gathering, I tell people because I don't smoke and drink, it doesn't mean I'm better than you. I have an addiction. Coca-Cola is not healthy for me as a drink, but I'm taking it. So I'm as guilty as you that is taking alcohol or you that is smoking cigarette, because we're both addicts.
Exactly.
So as parents, as whatever you look at it, we are all guilty of this crime. It's just that we sin differently. What you're guilty of is not what I'm guilty of.
Exactly.
You know, but we all have addictions. So it's for us to make these children understand that some of these things are not your making. Dr. Nantala, you had headache, you took paracetamol, you kept taking it. At some point, your body starts resisting paracetamol. You look for a higher one, you know, you take it, your body starts resisting it. So you keep going till you start taking tramadol that is strong for pains, you know. That's how it starts. So it wasn't intentional for some. And some will tell you because it's a prescription drug, it's okay. No, if you abuse a prescription drug, you're guilty of it. You know, for every medication, they tell you if symptoms persist after 2 days, 3 days, consult your doctor. Because they do not want you to stay on that drug till your body starts resisting it. Exactly. So it's not a question of how and when this thing happened, but this is already a crisis.
It's already a crisis.
It's already a crisis. So whether you like it or not, it's next door.
Exactly. Now you keep mentioning parental neglect. Many parents, you will agree with me, do not bother to go through the school bags of their children. They do not bother to go through the belongings of their children in their rooms. They just allow them to have that free world. Did that come up as an issue yesterday?
Yes, it did. So, Dr. Tantale, you know what triggered this for me? Like for everything one does, you get to a point where you feel like, oh, this thing has gone beyond where I think it is. I had a girl approach me who was in secondary school or just finished secondary school, but she wasn't yet in the university. She needed me to give her money to buy loud.
Loud?
Yes.
Okay.
And she was like, she needs 5,000 to buy half cup of loud. I don't even know what, I've not seen loud.
It's even what I want to ask.
I don't know what half cup of it is, you know. But I was like, what do you need? She said, oh, that she needs that. She's very depressed, that this is what makes her feel okay. And it will be interesting to know she's still in her father's house.
Is that loud a tablet or what?
It's a drug they smoke.
Oh.
Dr. Natala, you also need to come up. So, I said, you're not even in school yet. What pressure could make you be taking? She said, no, that's what she takes and she's okay. I said, so this half cup of loud, how long is it going to take you? She said she would have to smoke it like 2-3 times, you know. And I said, where do you do this? She said, around the neighborhood. I said, do your parents know? She said, how would they know? You know, but she keeps this thing in the house. She keeps it in her room, you know. So for me, I was like, oh, this is a girl who is not yet in school. She needs 5,000 to buy loud. So if she gets to school, her parents gives her pocket money. It won't be enough for anything.
When the pressure may have begun to pile up, academic pressure and all of that.
Yeah, so she would have to buy loud at 5,000 per each time. So as a parent, how much are you going to give her? You know, before, substance abuse used to be about men and boys. But now, the greatest danger is that the women and the girls are more into it, even more than the men now. So that's the greatest danger about this whole conversation that we're not having. And you know, it's also from the point that you look at it that, okay, from a religious point of view, we're not supposed to be talking about this thing. No, but there are conversations that need to be had, and this is one of them. Because I am telling you, if you don't have that conversation with your child, he goes outside, somebody tells him about it, he takes what that person tells him because he has no other superior argument to counter what that person is saying. So these are conversations you need to have with them. If you don't have that conversation with them, whatever they get outside supersedes whatever you feel you have in your mind that you're not telling them. You know.
So what is your call on parents now?
Yeah, my call on
Before we
parents
move
is
to the
that,
teachers,
Dr. Antala, what we're doing in Nigeria, unfortunately, is that we keep reducing the standard of education every day just to accommodate certain ills. That's what we've been doing. You know, we have children who are, every day we keep talking about the knowledge is dropping, the knowledge is dropping. Dr. Antala, parents abuse drugs too. We have parents who are drug addicts, who gave birth to children. And you know, statistics have shown that you as a parent who abused drug or who is a drug addict, you will give birth to children who are, you know, who have deficiencies in some areas of their well-being. You know, so these are this conversation does not, I think what we're trying to do with the children is to make sure we arrest it early in them before they get to that point. For the parents, it's a whole different aspect that we also are trying to see how we can have those conversations, because I know NDLEA is doing what they are doing, but how rich can they go? Because you know me, I've always been an advocate of bridging the gap between the urban and the rural areas. These conversations are not getting to the rural area, which is a place that we need these things to go.
But even though drug abuse in the rural area is at a minimal level.
That's what we think. They abuse it at their own level. They abuse it at their own level. They might not have access to cocaine, they might not have access to marijuana, but they have things also they take that they
Within
feel.
the locality.
Yes. And it's for lack of knowledge. It's for lack of... I had a friend who was sick in General Hospital. We went to greet him. He was in General Hospital. He was still taking herbs. And I was like, what? He said this is what works for him. I said, if it works for you, then why are you in the hospital? You know, so we really need to get this education beyond where it is. Like I said, we're trying to work with the Ministry for Basic Education. We're also looking at how we can work with SUBEB also on these things, because it's not about you as a parent. Sometimes these children could bring this education to you if you allow them. They know more than you. And that is where you begin to look at, okay, no, this is not right. Yeah, I know you know this, but they did not tell you the right thing. This is not what it should be. You know, we know what works for us. Where a child feels, oh, I'm having headache, he just scouts around the house, he sees paracetamol, he takes it because he knows it's for headache. So he can take it 2 or even 5 times a day, unsupervised.
Exactly. But don't you think previous approaches to discipline and reprimand of children have also contributed immensely? Because even parental care appeared to have also dropped down to accommodate certain ills, as you have just rightly said about education. You see, parents hardly beat the children today. Parents hardly take any punitive measures against their children. So also in school. And that has made quite a number of children to assume that what they are doing is simply the right thing, because they are not being scolded, they are not being beaten, and there is no any form of punishment that goes with any of the illicit behavior that they exhibit.
Okay, you
And
know,
that includes drug addiction too.
yeah, for me it's about carrot and stick. You know, I'm not an advocate of beating. You understand? But you as a parent, you would find what works for you as a parent, a medium of communication with your children. You know, you can beat them. You know, for some people, it's even in leadership. As adults that we are, some leaders want, if they enter a room, everybody is shivering, everybody is afraid of them. You understand? That's their own style of leadership. Some leaders want, if they enter a room, everybody is attracted to them. So it applies for you as a parent. Do you want your children to fear you, or do you want your children to have conversations with you on something they feel they need to talk to somebody about? So for me, I don't think it's about you beating a child or you not beating a child, because Dr. Dantala, what we had in our time is different from what we have now. That time, discipline was beating a child. Now we have different ways parents discipline children without physically having to beat them. Cut off allowance, do something. There's what works for you in your household. So for me, I don't think that is the problem. I think the problem is that the parents are leaving this job for teachers. I pay so much to get this child into school, so he's supposed to learn these things. Yes, the teachers are doing their part, but these children also come back home, spend some time with you, spend some time with their friends outside even their teachers. There are conversations that you can have with them. Pick their brain, know what they know about certain things. And if you see the dangers, that's when you could approach the teacher. Okay, look, I think my son is going this way or my daughter is going this way. I do not think it's the right way. How do we approach it? And you're bringing this knowledge to the teacher. The teacher now applies his or her professional training to see how to correct that child.
That's good. Thank you so much, Mr. Amechi Okeke. Listeners, you can join us on this discussion through the number 09038808883. You can equally visit our Facebook page on Prestigefm91.7mx to send in your texts.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Luntolo.
Morning.
Mr. Okeke.
Yeah, good morning.
It has been a while.
Yes, Dr. Atala has not called me for a while.
You've not been available for a while.
You're highly welcome.
Thank you very much.
This is MDL from Pakungu.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mr. Okeke, honestly, I always want to listen to your submission. Honestly, your submission always used to be wonderful. So I most appreciate you, honestly.
Thank
for
you
a wonderful
much.
submission, always.
Thank you.
Dr. Nansala, I most commend you always for bringing a vital topic, enlightening us on a daily basis. I most commend you for a job well done.
Thank you so much.
I still remain MD Awal from Pakungu. Dr. Dantala, a lot needs to be done by the parents and likewise even the caregivers. Dr. Dantala, if you go to most of public school nowadays, did you know all this most of boys and girls now are into all these drugs and all this as fraudulent activities, honestly. A lot needs to be done, honestly. It's not part of the NDLA alone. They are doing their best, but a lot needs to be done by the parent, Dr. Dantala. You see a child of 10, 12 years now is into drugs and other things.
Yeah,
and that is why you see most of them don't want to stay in the school, Dr. Dantala. Once it's 10, 11 now, you see most of them roaming about. They don't want to stay in the school environment. And the lapses from the ministry, you understand, those are things that is bringing all this kind of issue. If assuming there are monitoring team from the ministry on a daily basis to be checkmating all our public school, honestly, we will not be having all these lapses.
But if you are pinning the blame on the ministry, what of the school administrators, the principals, the headmasters, other teachers and the rest?
Even the parents.
Even the parents too.
Even you as a member of a community,
yes,
if you
exactly.
see something
when
going
you see
wrong,
you
can hold them and take them back to the school. That's your own community responsibility.
Dr. Dantala. Hello, Dr. Dantala.
Yes, go ahead.
So, when we are coming up, Dr. Dantala, did you know before you finish primary education, you must know how to read and write? It's mandatory then. But now, those are things, those are like a background of education is lacking in most of our public schools. And we need to checkmate all those lapses that we have. And that is why you see the public school is going backwardness on a daily basis. So it's that time we try to change the fortunes of how things being done in terms of education. In Niger State, already we're having a setback, Dr. Intela.
Okay, thank you so much. I think he has just raised an issue and he deviated into another thing again. Yeah. I think you have said children are roaming about, and we are saying that caregivers in schools, school administrators, and all of those category of individuals are the ones to be blamed, including members of the public. These days, nobody appears to want to do anything in service of the public.
No, everybody is waiting for the government, the ministries.
It is a responsibility of everybody. When you see a child roaming about during school hours, people will join forces and force that child
Community
back to school.
parenting, because
Yes,
if
community
that child
parenting.
becomes a nuisance, it's
Exactly.
also what we're saying about drugs now. Some days you're here, Dantala, you get a text message, do not pass through mobile or do not pass through complex. They are fighting. Those are results of this drug abuse that we're talking. This youth restiveness, it's all about substance abuse.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you so much. We have another caller. Okay, we've missed this one. 09038808883. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Dantala.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, the guest. I think we are discussing about drug-free society.
Yes, drug-free society leveraging on education.
Very good. This is Mr. Butoy calling from General Hema, Station.
You're welcome, sir.
To be brief, but I will start with the government anyway. The government of former military president Ibrahim Babangida, who brought the idea of this NDLEA, led by late General Musa Bamayi, started very well on the part of government. Unfortunately, from the subsequent government, they did not sustain the temple. Now, with the democracy in place, and I can say the last straw that break the camel's back as far as this issue is concerned is the advent of this social media, where some children even learn faster than their parents. I'm telling you, they come across things you don't know. So it is becoming very, very difficult to control these drugs now, drug abuse now. The only solution, I guess, is not only for the schools. In the schools, civic education is there. We teach, we preach that disadvantages of drug abuse or drug substances. But we are not with the children 24 hours.
Exactly.
247 in a month. It's just few days. Even in how many hours students stay in the school now, in the day school? Less than 6 hours. They come back home. And at home, probably, they live with peer groups. Probably the children or the wealthy children now mingles with the uneducated ones, those that they are not fully trained. And they influence them easily through these drug substances. So the only solution now is for both parents, teachers, government, and our well-known members of the public to join force together, bring in solutions. Even in our communities, the village heads should also be involved. Vigilante groups should also involve. Where are they selling this type of substances within this community? Who is taking them? Who is making use of it?
Cutting the source of supply.
Yeah, I think if we can make laws, petty laws that can take care of this.
There are laws already.
The laws are already existing, only that they are not being enforced.
They are not being fully followed.
They are being followed because when the NDA catches you, you go in for it. So, but it's also that the thing needs to come down.
So it's unfortunate, but may God help us.
Amen.
May God help us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abute from MI.
No, you see, he raised a very vital thing about, we keep talking about social media. It's just like the theme of the International Day for Education about the AI. You see, Dr. Dantala, some of these things have come to stay. There is nothing we can do about them.
Exactly.
But it's about adaptation. How are you adopting it in your country or in your community or in your locality? That's what matters. The AI we're talking about now, some countries are already using it to fight drugs. But we here, we're using it to chat. You understand? So it's what you use these things for. That social media is there. You buy a phone, you give it to your child. You're not even following. Most times, there are rules for giving a child a phone. You give a child a phone, you tie the, what do they call it? The Play Store to your email. That child cannot download anything without you. You check these phones. You see what this child does with this phone. But nobody, you just give a child a phone. I have a friend who, he said he changed his phone from iPhone 14 15 he was using to 16. And he wants to give the daughter the 15. And the daughter is still in secondary school.
Hey.
And I was like, I said, well, In order not to sound very poor that I can't afford it, that's why I'm sounding that way. I said it's not a bad thing that you want to give this girl an iPhone 15, but are you thinking of sustainability?
Because she can't come back to less.
Yes, are you thinking you're going to be able to sustain this thing? Why does she need an iPhone? I think you're putting so much pressure on this child. She gets to school, her friend sees her with iPhone 15. These are pressures that you're going to make her depressed over time. When you feel there is a need to curtail these things, you know, you're going to create another problem for her.
Exactly.
I said it's not a bad thing. So we keep talking about social media. The social media are there. There are good sides to it. These things, they are all blessings and curses depending on the way you use them. The AI is a blessing. It's also a curse. Now we have people who are not able to read and write that are able to express themselves through the help of AI. They are able to write. That's something, it's solving a problem there. You now as a scholar, you now that feel you went to school, do you now rely on AI to do your critical thinking for you? No.
Okay, let's go back to the line. Hello, good morning.
Dr. Dantala,
Morning, sir.
good morning.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Okeke,
Ogajimo, good morning, sir.
morning to you. Dr. Dantala,
Yes, sir.
may the soul of Ndako Madake rest in peace.
Oh, one time my principal.
Yes, former principal, Government College Vida. In fact, how I wish, just like the way he was doing it, a lot of people can do the same. I believe the situation will have been far better than the way we are experiencing it now. Ndako Madaki does not care whether you are a student or not, whether you are a student from government college or not. As long as it's during the school hours, he will not like to see students on the street. And the moment you have factored in, already you'll be into confusion and tension. So if somebody like that has been doing something like that to make sure that he bring up our children, if one way or the other we can copy, sincerely speaking, the society will be safe. The principals or the school managers cannot do it alone, including those in the community. If you are saying it is the responsibility of the teachers alone, there's no way we can get it perfect. The NDLEA, they've been doing their part, but they can't do it successfully without having collaboration of the community.
Exactly.
This same NDLEA, there are some certain places that they cannot be able to go in, not because of anything. Already those in the jungle believe no one can come in. But with the collaboration of the community, most especially the head of that same community, Meangwa, it can lead them to fight the crimes. Dr. Dantala, one very insult again that we fail to understand. Do you know that you will discover a parent will be decent, but not knowing that one way or the other he decided to get a phone to the child, and the children or the child will learn one or two things which is bad from the phone. Imagine a child who is watching a film, seeing people smoking, seeing people taking drugs or substance. The child will never know the negative side of that same thing until when he has tested it. And from testing, it becomes perfect. So one way or the other, I want to advise my fellow parents. It is not until when you buy phone or you allow your child or your children to be exposed in social media. There are so many ways you can give them love. There are so many love you can give them recognition. Take your children along with you. Take them as your friends. Invite them, discuss with them, not minding their age. If you are going to religious places, mosques, take them along. The gone are the days that our parents will be shy of moving with their children.
Exactly. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jimo from Bidda. One good takeaway is establishing friendship with children. Parents coming more closer, establishing rapport with the children.
And you see, Dr. Dantala, the conversation about giving your children phone, I think we've gone beyond that now. Because if you don't give your child a phone, her friends have phone, his friends have phone. Whatever you're trying to stop him from watching, he will watch from their own phone.
Exactly.
So the conversation should be now, you trying to guide them on what to do with these phones, because they would definitely lay their hand on this device.
And sometimes you have to be very friendly to get into their minds.
That is what I'm saying.
Penetrating their minds.
Because you are telling them they are not supposed to use this thing. So whatever they do with that thing, they would never let you know.
Exactly. Okay.
So I think the conversation is not about whether they should have phones anymore. If you refuse to buy for your child as a strict parent, he will go to school, watch from his friend's phone. And that is even more dangerous because you don't know what that friend is watching.
Exactly. Okay, we have a message here from Jafar Ibrahim Bendiga. He's saying, good morning and good work, Mr. Okeke. It's wonderful to reconnect with you, sir. I hope all is well with you too. Thank you so much. Regarding Nigeria's pursuit of a drug-free world by leveraging the education sector, I believe it's a commendable initiative. Education is a powerful tool for shaping minds and influencing behaviors. By incorporating drug education into school curricula, we can empower young people with factual information to make informed decisions about substance abuse. In Nigeria, where out-of-school children are a significant concern, with approximately 10.5 million children not attending school, it's essential to prioritize education as a means to prevent drug abuse. By expanding access to quality education, particularly in disadvantaged areas, we can reduce the vulnerability of young people to substance abuse. To achieve this goal, it's crucial to strengthen the education system, improve teacher training, provide resources for effective drug education. The Truth About Drugs educational programs, which includes a documentary and educational materials, is an excellent resource for educators. Let's work together to create a drug-free Nigeria by harnessing the power of education. Thank you so much, Jafar Ibrahim. A very lengthy one.
A very lengthy and insightful one.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Thank you so much, Jafar Ibrahim Bendega, for your contribution. And you know, at every point in time when you have workshops like this, not many students may care to come in. How did you source for the participant? Is it just generally all the students or just some selected few?
No, I think what we did in this particular pilot scheme was concentrate on the senior class, the SS classes. Those are the ones that we're taking now.
Okay.
Yeah, but you'll be surprised it's also in the junior.
Yes, of course. It could be in the junior category too.
Yes.
Some of them may have already gotten into that to some extent, but even at that, one cannot take away the fact that some of them are already even far.
Very far. Yeah.
Okay, we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Dr. Antala and your guest, Mr. Okeke.
Good morning, sir.
It's good to hear you once again on the air.
Thank you,
I really
sir.
missed you.
Thank you, sir. I missed you people too.
Indeed, this drug-free community using education as a tool is a vital tool to shape the younger one's mind in terms of drug abuse and other substances. However, I want to ride on the issue, on the point raised by Jafar Ibrahim Bindiga.
Yeah.
A documentary will be far more reaching than a workshop. The workshop has its own, because I remember in our days in the secondary school, there used to be one documentary about some very intelligent student of a secondary school, a boy and a girl, who are excelling almost in everything in school. And at a point, because as at that time it is immoral behavior that maybe they are trying to teach the younger ones, so that you cannot indulge in all this sexual behavior. And at the end, I think the name of the actor, was it Richard? So at the end, you see they involved in some immoral behavior, and at the end, it affected their educational career. They couldn't further. So we can have similar documentary in that aspect of that drug, taking drugs and substances that will affect his intelligence and career. it will reach them deeper, more. And even the ages of 5 to 7 in the primary school, such documentary can also be displayed in their school hall or in one of the hall in the school, so that we can catch them and be able to shape their mind. This is my little solution, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's also a very interesting one.
Exactly.
But you see, the problem is that we as a people, Nigeria as a country, there are things that we're dealing with that we're not yet at the level of attacking some of these issues like some other countries do. We still have schools where they can't even play a documentary. You understand? Those schools in the rural area.
Exactly.
So what we're doing is taking it one step at a time. The documentary is a very good one. We're going to get to that, but let's start from here.
Okay, thank you so much. We have another caller. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello. Okay, I think he's not being attentive to the
maybe
call.
the network. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, we have another caller again. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Doctor.
Yes.
I'm welcoming our guest in the studio.
Thank you, sir.
So I was speaking with Coach Abdul.
Okay, go ahead, Coach Abdul.
This is a very wonderful this thing you bring to us because, to be frank, it's something that all of us are supposed to sit down and start crying. The way the moral decadency of our children, the falling of our education, is seriously something to worry about. During our days, I know all of us, we went to boarding school, which not only our parents, even our seniors, they contribute in our good behaviors and morality. But because of the system of education, you can see when you go, all schools are even overcrowded. One teacher for more than 200 students.
Very true.
How can he control those children? Secondly, the government is not doing what they're supposed to do. The budget on the education is very poor. The maintenance of our legislatives is even triple or 100 times ahead. So I don't see any way, because all this social media and everything, even if the parent does not purchase for the children, they will go and mingle with their peer groups, which still they can corrupt them. So the best thing, I think all of us, we have to go back to the drawing board, because things are seriously getting worse, to be frank. Thank you. That is my little contribution.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach Abdul, for your contribution. All of us going back to the drawing board. Now, the drug-free world have taken the bold step. I think there's the need for all other stakeholders to key in and ensure that all of these things are nipped in the bud.
Yeah, like I said, on our own part as a civil society group, you know, there's a SACEFA, a Civil Action Coalition on Education for All in the United States. Yeah, it's a coalition. We have different NGOs under the umbrella, and I happen to be the state coordinator. So we're also looking at how we can expand this whole substance abuse training to get to the rural areas, because that's even the target. You know, they are more vulnerable, because you know there's this peer pressure thing. You believe that whatever any child in the city tells you is the thing that is in vogue. Yeah, so we're also trying to see how we can arrest that too. So it's a whole lot of conversation, Dr. Dantala, but we've started it and we're going to keep going.
Okay, thank you so much. And our time is fast spent, Mr. Amici Okiki. I'm afraid probably we'll have to draw the curtain of the program here. Going forward, what is your call?
Yeah, going forward, for me, the call is, you know, little drops. That's what makes the ocean, you understand? We have started. Let's sustain it. Let's keep it going. Well, like I said, we're looking at how to partner with the Ministry of Basic Education and also SUBEB in driving this cause. You know, NDLEA, they have the mandate, they are the drivers. Whenever you call them for these things, it's wonderful the way they respond to it. And they are willing, they are there to give you any support you need in this fight. So it's a whole lot of conversation, and I think everybody is keen into it. So we'll keep having it, and we'll keep talking about the success stories that we record from it.
Okay, today is day 2 of the workshop.
Yeah, the last day.
What are the activities lined up?
Yeah, today is the last day, and it's a continuation of what happened yesterday, because the students were many, so we had to share them into 2. We did the first part yesterday, so we'll be doing the second and final part today. And what this will do at the end of the day, like I said, we had a pre and post survey for the children. We're going to look at that at the end of the day, be able to come up with a number, you know, a percentage of, you know, looking at the SS class in the SS classes in HIMA. What percentage knows about drugs? What percentage do not know? What percentage, you know, it's going to give us a wider coverage on what we're trying to work on and how to go about it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Amechi Okeke, a research fellow, especially in the area of basic education. We appreciate your contribution, especially to the education sector in Niger State.
Yeah, Dr. Dantala, one more thing I need to add there, please. There's an issue that the Niger State Education, I don't know whether SUBEB or Ministry of Education needs to address. This issue of PTA, taking it away from schools. There are schools who have PTA teachers. They buy chalk, they buy all these things from this PTA money. You took this thing away. I've not been an advocate of PTA yet because it's a money that is not accounted for. But what are you replacing it with? Let's have this conversation. Let them tell us what's their plan. What, if you remove this thing, what are they supposed to? Because you go to school now, and everybody is sitting there. They tell you they don't even have chalk to write.
Exactly. Already it's gradually showing.
Yeah.
Many of the schools are simply...
In Abia State, they had a 6-month period for removing PTA. They had to set up a committee. They did a 6-month work. And by January this year, they removed it. But they created a pause for every school, where they put a stipend. This money is meant for chalk and some materials that you need. And they have like a body that watches over that money. The governor swore that if you mismanage that money, it's not about a civil service thing, you're going to jail.
Exactly.
You know, so provide something before you take out something.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Mr. Amechi, for your concern and for this passion that you have exhibited all the time. Thank you so much to those who make their calls and those who send in their text messages. We appreciate your contribution this morning. And the Stephen Jia brought us live on our Facebook page, and Ahmed Issa Sakwe has been the DC on duty. On behalf of them, especially Mr. Amechi Okeke, who has been a discussant on this program, my name is Mohammed Antala Ali, hoping that you continue to remain good citizens of Nigeria. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.